I think it's sometimes difficult to put yourself in the shoes of a beginner. For example, I never thought that people would struggle with mixing colours. It was only through talking to someone that usually likes to draw and would like to paint, but struggles when it comes to making colours, mixing colours. And that's one of the things that I guess took for granted, that it comes, I suppose, quite naturally to me. So when it comes to mixing like greens, for example, in watercolor painting, I think green is one of those colours that people may struggle to make. So I just wanted to show you some of the things that I do to help me get those greens and just to make those landscape paintings a bit more dynamic, a bit more interesting, and a bit more realistic perhaps with the greens that I use and some of the mixes that I use. So let's jump straight into the video. First of all, when thinking about mixing greens, I usually have a base to use. I know a lot of people do like to use Hooker's green. It's not really a colour that I've become familiar with, but my go-to is usually a sap green, but I'll show you how I mix different colours within the sap green. But I can see lots of yellow, and when I want a darker tone I will add some French ultramarine to that. And you know, we'll just have fun and see what we come up with. Okay, so first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, I'm not sure whether this is sap green. I did do swatches of my Rembrandt palette. So I just want to show you from a few different brands, a couple of different brands, the kind of greens that you get already in those sets. Like I said, I don't know what colour green this is. I'm terrible with different colours that I do. This one is sap green from the M. Graham's, which I'm a big fan of. You already know that. So this is a really nice colour. And let's see, I've got green in, I don't know what green that would be. It's quite intense, quite bright, quite sort of fake looking. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm even going to throw in a little bit of this sap green. This is the Cotman range. So it's Winsor & Newton, but it's a student grade, and it's still a really nice colour if you're on a budget. Perfect for you. You just and yeah, just a bit of sap green. I use these paints for a really long time, these Cotman. You can see how bright and vibrant the colours are. So let me just swatch that. You see it's quite a bit more brighter, more vibrant than the professional grade, being the M. Graham's. It's quite a nice colour tone. Okay, I think that's as dark as we can get. Obviously, if we layer that, so once it's dry, add a little bit, another wash on top, then it will sort of become more saturated. But so there are some of the greens. Obviously different brands. I've got Rembrandt. I don't know what colour that'd be. Maybe I'm thinking it's probably more of like an emerald green. They do emerald green in a few different brands. Then sap green and sap green. You can see the difference in different sap greens. And now I'm going to try. Now I'm also a big fan of Winsor & Newton. So this is permanent sap green. You can see. Professional grade Winsor & Newton. So let me just pop a little bit of that down as well, and we'll see what. I guess what difference that would be from the Cotman green, sap green. I'll put that under here. You can see there's not really much of a difference with the sap green, the student grade, and then the artist grade. Perhaps a little bit more granulation. You do get that with the Winsor Newton, especially with the blues. You get plenty of granulation, sorry, not saturation. You get granulation. So sometimes, especially like the French ultramarine, you do get quite a lot of this granulation happening. And you can see, I think there's a little bit more yellow probably in the sap green Cotman than the artist grade. This is one of my sort of go-to greens that I do like to do. So I'm going to grab a little bit of yellow ochre. Okay, this is just from a tray, so just a bit of that yellow ochre. I'm going to put this down. And a bit of French ultramarine to that. And this will give us a nice green as well. And you know, a lot of times I don't mix completely in the palette, but I do like to have these colours just mixed together, so it's quite nice. It gives that nice sort of look. And then I'm wondering if I'm just scatting from different palettes, different colours, but hopefully you find this useful. It can give you an idea. And just a little bit of this, I think it's lemon yellow or Hansi yellow. This is M. Graham's, this is Hansi yellow. So let's just pop some of that on the paper. Hansi yellow is a very bright, summery yellow. Really nice on its own, but let's touch a little bit. I'm going to tap a little bit of sap green, just straight sap green. This is M. Graham's again. Let's just add that to this mix. You see how that, not mixing it, but just letting it mix on the paper, and you can see the sort of effects that you get. It's quite nice, quite a nice colour. And then I'm thinking if we go in with a touch of blue, this is just the Graham's Graham's colour. So we'll go for the blue. See a nice blue. And now let's add some yellow to that. Just a touch of yellow. You see the green that's come about mixing the blue and yellow. And now let's see what happens if I've already got a bit of a puddle in my palette from previous paintings. I don't tend to use my clean it out anymore. And this is a yellow that I just mix up for a painting. Now I'm mixing this in the tray, so yellow ochre and sap green. Let's see how this performs. That's quite a nice colour. Quite a nice colour that I would use. You've probably seen that in a lot of my paintings. There is another colour, it's in my, should have got it. It's in my Winsor Newton palette, and that is an olive green. In fact, no, it's my Schminke palette, my Schminke Hold On palette. It's a olive green, and that's a really nice colour to use as well. But yeah, if you want a darker mix, let's have a look, see what we can do to get a darker green, something a little bit, just a bit more sort of muted, then you can just go ahead and put a neutral tint into that sap green and yellow ochre. A bit more yellow ochre. Maybe a tiny bit of the pyro red, just to mute it a little bit more. I think sometimes in landscape paintings it's best to have a lot of muted colours. You don't want things so vibrant and popping, anything like that. A bit more blue perhaps. You can see it's giving us a really muted, rather nice colour of green. So let's see what this colour is about now. Pop that on the paper. You can see the sort of green I'm getting with this now. Quite a nice muted green. So that's quite a nice, almost an olive green. And if we add a bit more blue to that, let's see what happens there. So it's just a bit of the cerulean blue. And you can see what happens there as well. So that's quite a nice muted colour, more cool on the blue side of things, the blue scale. And if we add a little bit more yellow ochre, a bit more of the Hansi yellow, I'm mixing this now on the palette. You can see the green that I'm getting there. Quite nice, quite a warm golden sort of green. And what if we just add some blue, cerulean, just a bit of Hansi yellow. We don't have to mix them. It looks quite nice if there was some trees. You know, the colours together on paper, mixing a little bit as they meet, then your eye sees green with those two colours together. So just a quick little exercise really, just to show you how to mix some greens. It is really simple, and I'm not one for, you know, being too extravagant with anything. But yeah, it's just a nice little exercise, and we can just have fun, play around. If you do have sketchbooks, then this is a nice little exercise you can do in your sketchbooks. You can see just pure sap green now with a bit of Hansi yellow, and just touch that in. You can see the sort of things you get. So that's a really nice little exercise for you. And a little bit of blue, or blue this, with a little bit of the colours that I've mixed already. Okay, so I hope this fun little demonstration does help. When it comes to your landscape paintings, you don't want to use, you can use sap green straight from the tube. It depends on the brand, you get different colours of sap green. I do like this M. Graham's pigment. You know, if I was to use it on its own, that would be the one I'd prefer out of the Winsor & Newton. But I would usually either use a blue, so go on the blue side, or a sort of a yellow ochre mix with that, and you'd get some really nice interesting colours. Hope you find this useful. Just find a base, use a green that you prefer. I like to use the sap green, and then you can just add different blues to it, different yellows. If you want it a little bit more muted, you could use a little bit of red, and that will neutralize it a little bit more, give you these sort of really muted colours. But yeah, I hope you like this one. I hope you find it useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.